So, Brandon, you believe in Big Ben this season?
I don't, Jenna. He reminds me a lot of Carmelo Anthony. I'm going to go back to basketball a little bit because, look, I can admit right now Chris Broussard is crushing me when we're talking football. This dude's going back to, Aaron Rodgers, all his career highlights and career failures in the playoffs. So I'm going to go back to basketball to talk about Ben Roethlisberger. Carmelo Anthony, remember those couple years where, everybody turned their back on him because they're like, Carmelo Anthony can't adapt? That reminds me a lot of Big Ben. Big Ben, he can play at a high level, and his team can actually be a contender because they have a top 5 defense and one of the best front sevens we've seen in a long time. But Big Ben he shouldn't be thinking that I'm going to go out there and throw it 30, 40 times a game. He has to rely on that young running back that they just drafted out of Alabama. He has to rely on, let me hand it off and let me be smart. You saw Tom Brady do that. Tom Brady struggled when he tried to throw the ball down the field last year, play after play after play, and really win it that way. When he started relying on that run game and he started relying on that defense, that's when you saw that playoff run happen. That's when you saw them beat, Drew Brees and the Saints and Aaron Rodgers, right? So that's what he has to do is lean on that defense and also lean on that run game because with him throwing it down the field, Chris Broussard, that is not going to happen. So if he adapts like Carmelo Anthony did, then he'll have a chance. Let's talk a little basketball.
Well, Brandon, I have to admit, I don't like it when somebody says, I don't have anything to prove. I'm just here to have fun. I just want to show I still got it. Like, that might be well and good for Ben because he's right. His legacy is set. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's got his 2 Super Bowls, all that. But for the rest of that organization and those players, they're like, we want to win. So to have your quarterback come in there talking about, I just want to have some fun. That's like when Michael Jordan went to Washington. Oh, it's not about winning championships anymore. I just want to prove I still got it. Well, that's great for you individually, but how's it going to help us as a team? So I don't like that. But, Brandon, I do think Ben will be better than last year. And look, the Steelers are a clear third in that division. All right, obviously Baltimore and Cleveland, I like them better. But that could get Pittsburgh in the playoffs. And I think if Ben has a solid year, they can be a playoff team. And I think he will. I got to be honest. Remember last year he was coming off the elbow surgery, couldn't throw downfield with any accuracy. I think he'll be better in that regard this year. They got a great core of receivers.
Year 18.
And then you mentioned Najee Harris. He not only is a great running back, but he can catch the ball out of the backfield for check downs for Ben. So I think Ben's going to have a bounce-back season. Not a Pro Bowl season, but a bounce-back season, and they got a good chance of making the playoffs as a wild card.
Yeah, here's the other thing. He looks beautiful.
Wow.
Did you see how much weight that he lost, Brandon? I know you were making fun of Big Ben, saying that he looked a little bit out of shape, and you were the unofficial belly judger on the panel here. Whenever you see a white, look at this guy.
I'm not a body
He's looking
shamer.
good. And if he shaved the beard, he would look even great.
There you go.
He looks
Even his
that's
shirt
a
says
real
different.
change. Even his shirt says different. So, look, I think that's a real thing. I think Najee Harris is going to come on. They had the worst rushing offense in the league. It just doesn't feel like divisional football, right? You got the Ravens rushing the ball all the time. The Browns have got 2 rushers. So now they got Najee Harris. They're going to really lean on him to make moves. So the other thing, Brandon, and I can't believe I'm convincing the Steelers fan on the panel that you should believe in the Steelers. They're already starting, I got to do my math now, 9-8. Like, Mike Tomlin still has not had a losing record in his entire tenure with the Steelers. So they just need to be a little bit better. And I think, if you can lean on the running game a little bit more and you lean on that great, core of wide receivers, you're good. Your offensive line is a disaster. So maybe you got some rookies in there playing. But overall, I still believe in Mike Tomlin more so than I believe in Big Ben. I think you guys will be all right.
Yeah, no, there's more to it, and those are the 2 things we need to highlight. That's why I tried to talk about Carmelo Anthony. You have to adapt as an aging player. You can't play the same way. He's going into year 18, and what you showed was him totally changing his approach to the offseason. Big Ben has been a guy that only want to do yoga and walk on the Stairmaster before practice for 10 minutes. That's facts. But when you want to play 18, 20 years, look what Tom Brady has done. You got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers in year 16. Aaron Rodgers is known to get after it in the offseason. Drew Brees is known to get after it in the offseason. That's not Big Ben's thing. He needs to take care of his arm. When you get older, you don't do less. You got to do more. And then when we talk about this whole approach to football, like, no, man, you can't sit back there in the pocket thinking that you're going to take those hits. How many times have we saw Big Ben try to be Mr. Superhero in the pocket, Jenna, taking on hits, extending plays, and throwing it down the field to Antonio Brown? You can't do that no more. You got to be able to throw the ball in the dirt. That's a good play for you. You got to be able to throw the ball out of bounds. That's a good play for you. You have to do a good job of relying on that defense and relying on that run game. And yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers will have a chance. But if Big Ben doesn't change that approach, then the Cleveland Browns are going to run this division, potentially the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.